divine beings. This is going to be a gorgeous one because I'm about to dive into my favorite deck. I don't take this deck out a lot. It is a collectible deck, limited edition. It's always sitting gorgeously on the box. But I recently spoke about rare Pokemon and collectible items. So I thought, oh my God, I haven't touched my Cosmos deck in forever. It's so gorgeous. And as I amp up the space energy over here, really been merging my ideologies of space and the grey, and there's so much viral stuff going on at this moment in time about the grey and just space and time and the extra, and it's just really reassuring for me to feel like I can really be myself now and really pave ways in this arena. So we're going to play around with the Cosmos deck and see what the universe want us to know, what the key collective message is. I'm getting Virgos coming in, I'm getting Taurus coming in, I'm getting Libra coming in, Pisces coming in, Sagittarius coming in, Aries coming in. So I see your signs, right? I'm tapping in with you also. Welcome in. Get comfy. We're going to snuggle up in our lovely dimensional realities across space and time and really dive into our energy, you know? So, just having a sip of a beverage and we're going to dive in, okay? I'm going to start off with actually a very classic deck we've got out, which is a Mystic Moon deck. Haven't used this in donkeys as well. We've got some golden oldies coming out. Now we're going to use this deck to get us the overall energy of the situation. What I really want to look at more than anything else is the main 3D principles that are governing this reading at this time. Real key factors that we're going to want to look at and that's going to come up in the other spreads. Haven't used this deck in ages, and wow, is it showing up strong already. The stuff coming out is very overwhelming. I wasn't expecting us to go here, and no wonder why this deck hasn't came out for a very long time. Years this deck has been retired itself to the special box. So the fact that this isn't even the Cosmos one that's just come off the collectible shelf, may I add. But I'm going to check my ego and my pride because the pride and ego card's out. Let me show you the elements we're all working through. So all the signs I've just identified, Aries, Libra, Taurus, Virgo. There was one more, but you'll come to me if I need to tap in with you specifically, just to remind you that I do receive you personally as well, even though we are a collective. Let's go, right? Because the first card coming out is compromise. So when we go into the Cosmos deck, we're looking at how to compromise, and we're looking at it connected to your self-worth. Then we're looking at forgiveness, and we're looking at that connected to pride and ego. Then we're looking at your vibration, and then we're looking at you being the muse. The muse card always fascinates me in this deck. Even the word muse, I love it. I guess my ideology of being the muse, right, is if you're a bit of a diva, a bit of a flary character, you you love and adore me, do you? Oh, of course you do. Yes, I am that bitch. I am divine. Yes. Like, I love the fact that in 2023 we can have incredibly camp gay men who dress up in drag and be super queeny. But me, as a female feminine, if I get too queer and too, yes, darling, I am divine, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? But hold on, wait, why is it okay for the gays to do it? Why is it okay for the queers to do it? They're taking on the woman persona and energy and they're slaying. Yes, queen, you're so fucking sexy and awesome. But hold on, wait, when an actual feminine does it, you're a stuck-up, ignorant, obnoxious bitch, overstepping your mark and boundaries, thinking you're so awesome. Oh my God, how unbearable is that energy? Oh, look at them. Like, it's that kind of vibration. And the other day I had a real laugh with Libra on the call, the Libra space reading I just done. And I spoke to them and I said, imagine Cleopatra was existing in 2023. I said, Nefertiti, she'll be fine, she's humble AF. But imagine Cleopatra just walking around the streets on a hot summer's day. Oh my God. Imagine Cleopatra working in Subway, working in Tesco's. Because unfortunately she hasn't managed to get herself where she needed to be in this lifetime. So imagine Cleopatra working at the strip club. Imagine Cleopatra on OnlyFans. Do you get it? Do you get, like... Because I'm pretty sure Cleopatra knew she was fucking awesome and incredibly sexy and an absolute goddess. And I'm pretty sure she had no fucking problem claiming that reality in any given moment she lived and breathed. So imagine she just reincarnated in the now moment in 2023. Fucking hell, she'll slay around town. She'll slay all day. She would not fit in and conform to the standardised narrative of society. Not by a long fucking shot. So imagine, think about all the other gods, deities, energies. Imagine Horus walking around in the now moment. Imagine Osiris. Imagine what Horus would look like now. Imagine what the pharaohs would look like in 2023 walking on the street. Could we identify that to some of the trans and non-binary and LGBTQ identities? Can we identify it with the way in which people dress now and just choose to have makeup and fashion senses? Could we link it to that? Could we link the fact that there are people out there believing that they are in spirit animals and choosing to create all these out there pronouns and speak as if they're birds going car all day as an actual descendant of Horus? Could we even go there in conversation in 2023? Or are we still going to act uptight, prudish beings so westernized from history? I mean, we're even colonized in relation to space and time in the now moment, if you really get that. You understand what a colony is and ancestry? Like, look at what's happened over space and time. We're all stuck up here now in the 21st, in 2023, thinking we're way better than the people that lived in huts back a day. Ew. They didn't even know what toilets were. They all shared one space. Oh, they had fire and no seasoning, and they just made foods on pot. They just made foods on bits of bark. Ew, they used trees and leaves to cover their genitals because they couldn't afford Balenciaga. Like, do we get how laughable reality is in context to the wider world and beyond the wider world, across space and time? Do you get how silly reality is when you look at it through a lens of space and time? I think that's the key conversation today that we're going to have to really discuss. So when we're thinking about compromise and self-worth, think about the start of time. Think about your childhood. Because I always talk about the start of time and I realise, fucking hell, I'm going to lose everyone. Because I'm always talking about my start of time. And there's so many different starts of time I can pin on. We can talk about my actual physical birth, my date of birth. That's one pin of the start of time. But then we can talk about my awakening, which I see as another start of time, which was 2016 when I awoke to being clairvoyant and knew I could see the other side. That's also a pivotal moment on the journey. When I incorporated my business, 2019, another pivotal moment on the journey. Lost my virginity, that's the start of time for sex for me. Incorporated my business, start of time as a CEO for me. Do you get what I mean? So many, start of time for me being a clairvoyant, 2016. There's always periods of the start of time, for time is a mere illusion, yet it is ticking over every given moment because polarity is a real thing. Everything is everything and nothing all in the same breath. So we have to be able to go left, right, on, off, the full spectrum in the now moment, and then still sit back without overly perceiving the narrative to be whole and solidified, for we are fluid. Big up the gender fluid community and the non-binary and trans community, always shouting you out because people want to run you down into the ground, but they don't know that you're spiritually woke, but you're 3D-fying the situation and solidifying it into a label of adherence. Somewhat limiting gender preferences is a real thing, but that is also rooted in developmental psychology, and I get that too. So big up yourselves, peeps. But let's go, because I'm just digressing at this point. Gonna get rid of these cards, but hold that, right? No, we're gonna go in on round 1, round 2, round 3. The first round of the conversation is going to be compromise and self-worth. We're not going to stay here too long because I've been waffling on for hour-long content. I'm going to try and keep this really clean and snappy, but we always say that, and we always stay here waffling on for lengthy periods of time. So let's see. When it comes to compromise and self-worth, it's a conversation that Divine would like us to have. I'm being guided to go to my Signs from Spirit deck as well, just to give you some reassurance about this conversation, that I am connecting with you and that you are related to every group here. First card coming out is abandonment as well. Shouldn't even be in that deck, but it's staring at me. So anyone in the compromise and self-worth situation, there's feelings of abandonment, yeah? Codependency. We rely on other people. We feel we need other people for certain things. We feel like we need a certain stature level of money in our bank, a certain appearance, a certain image, comfort blankets. As children, we all have comfort blankets, or a dummy, a pacifier. Pacifier is the greatest word I can say. Because the key thing we're talking about in regards to this compromise and self-worth, which you as an adult now need to truly integrate into your actions every single day and into your higher consciousness awareness. I'm talking to a collective who have been in some kind of combative energy with the other. This is a relationship, mother, father, brother, sister, lover, partner. You've been battling back and forth with them, and that's rooted in abandonment. Whether or not they've been abandoned, you've been abandoned. It's a situation of, I am used to pacifying myself in this way. And if you take away my dummy, do you know what it takes to wean a child off their dummy? Wean a child off a bottle, wean a child off the breast, get a child out of nappies and get them onto the toilet. Get a child from crawling to walking. Stages of development are a real thing, guys. Guess what? The world don't teach you when you're in fucking school that you still need self-development, not just maths, science and English development. I've been speaking to the education sector for as long as I can remember about the fact that why are we stopping personal, social and emotional development, and it's no longer a core subject, a specific subject within the two main curriculums within the United Kingdom, which is the early years foundation stage and the national curriculum. When we start off in life early on, all they do is train us for PSC up until you're 4. When you get to 5, they say, fuck personal, social and emotional development, which is everything you know about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, everything you know about spirituality, everything you know about enlightenment, spiritual awakening, the true self. That's grounded in nursery development, early development, up until you're 4. After that, the government switch on. They're like, nah, we don't want you to learn through play and experiment, because you're going to learn too blood clot much, and you're not going to be a conformist capitalist or ingrained into the matrix as much as we need you to be. So sorry, nah, all that play stuff that was really awakening you, that in early years we say is the core. We train all key workers, all nursery nurses, everyone, that is the most important thing a child needs. But hold on, wait. Financially, that's not going to benefit us in the long run. We're going to strip away those ideologies, start learning math, science and English right now in the way we want, because we need people to open the banks. We need people to run retail. We need nurses, doctors, policemen. We need a civil service. We need civil citizens. Yeah? Serious conversation here. So it's about the compromise between the two, because I get you guys, Gov. Can't have everyone out here being an alien, running around screaming, boycott the government. It's not going to benefit anyone, is it? But there has to be a period of evolution, and there has to be an awakening that in 2023, we all deserve more spiritually, emotionally and mentally. We're all craving a bit of well-being. Suicidal ideation, suicide full stop has long been on the increase. I've been logging the data on suicide since 2016, and I'm telling you, it's been on the. I haven't checked it actually over the last year since I stepped into the corporate lane. How disgusting! Even I've neglected the stats on suicide amongst the young. Once I get into the corporate arena, look at me now. Who do I think I am? Suddenly not checking on the stats annually on suicide amongst the young. See what the corporate does to you. Guess I'm going to have to put a piece out about that on my on hermatology.me, so stay tuned if you want some real facts about the suicidal figures over the years since COVID. I'm going to look at that and run the numbers, because actually that is something I really should have done, which I haven't. But the truth of the matter is, we've got to understand what elements have fallen off in our life, what have we compromised, what have we sacrificed, that now in time we realise, shit, I need that back. That was my self-worth. I gave my worth away. Now I'm confused about myself. I gave my worth away. Now I'm confused about myself. How can I have self-worth when I don't know myself, because I was so willing to compromise in ways and in reasons I shouldn't have, that I don't feel worthy anymore. What an intensive conversation to have. Do you get what I mean? I'm going to leave that there and I'm going to keep cycling through this vibration, guys. We're done with compromising self-worth. I think we've said enough. Let's dive into the next conversation here that's arising today, which is indeed that forgiveness energy. And I'm telling you, that looks heavy. I'm not going to lie to you. So let's dig in. I'm so cockney nowadays, really. It's so funny. It's so fun. I'm not always like this, guys. I don't know. When I talk really fast, I get into this vibration. I'm just so cockney in this now moment. I mean, when I've got all my cards out and I'm shuffling, I really feel like it's a game of blackjack. I'm at the casino and I'm like a real wheeler dealer. A real wheeler dealer I am. It's hilarious and I'm trying. I just can't help it. It's too fun. So just bear with me as we channel in this new energy and learn how to integrate it healthily. Right, I'm just waffling on. There's cards flying all over the place that don't appear to be in the right deck, so I'm just moving them out of the way. Okay, right. So now I'm looking at forgiveness and pride and ego. What a horrible energy. I know these cards well. That's why they ain't been out for ages, because they really don't lie, you know. So is there a need for you to forgive yourself? Is there for you a need to forgive other? Is there this pride and ego? Now, when we talk about pride and ego, let's be really obvious and authentic about it. We all have it. We all have it. Do you know why I love this as well? I'm looking at a peacock. And I just watched on YouTube the best ever review show, one of my favourite YouTube channels, where Sunny went to Sri Lanka, and in Sri Lanka, a small indigenous community, they killed a peacock and cooked it, and we all watched it on the screen, and he filmed it. It was amazing to see. But look how beautiful a peacock is. And can we identify firstly that a peacock is covered in the evil eye? Look how beautiful a peacock is, and look at what symbol is covered on its body. What does that say to you? Inherently ingrained in the peacock. We're all out here in the streets buying evil eye necklaces and rings, and I went to the shop before the year was out, gold shop. Oh my God, they had the most stunning evil eye pieces, right? Ring, Cleopatra style necklace, amulet, earrings, bracelet, like they had a whole section of the gold shop just covered with the stuff. It's the most stunning stuff I ever seen. I was literally screaming, squealing in the shop, couldn't believe it. And now I'm looking at this, it's just screaming to me, wow, the peacock hasn't even got to pay for it. It's naturally ingrained in the peacock, and the peacock is always talking about pride and ego. The peacock's incredibly stuck up, and it's got that eye where you're just looking at others, because you're always judged as the peacock. Now, I don't want to lose everyone because I'm connecting so many dots in my head, so stay with me here. But if you watch The Only Way is Essex, which I've been catching up on the series lately because I've had a little window of time to just watch a bit of TV trash, which I love, right? Because we all know it's not real, but I mean, I love a bit of reality TV. But Amber Turner in The Only Way is Essex, she's always seen as the stuck-up bitch. She's like the peacock in the situation. And everyone's always getting onto her saying she's cold, she's heartless, she's not very warm. She doesn't come in and say, hi everyone, and do all this lovey-dovey stuff. And it's like, but you guys have watched the series, like the seasons, right? All of you guys are in the cast. You've known she's been in every season for the last 10 seasons at least. You know how she's been perceived by the media and the wider world and the rest of the cast. You know what happens when she was originally at the start of time giving all her love and energy to the atmosphere and to the experience. And what happened every time she wore her heart on her sleeve and she showed up on camera giving her all? She got pissed on. She got annihilated. She got slated in the press. She got slated in the media. She got broken, cheated on over and over again by Dan Edgar, her partner. She got mugged off. So they're always slagging her off, saying she's cold and heartless. And she's got all this pride and ego. But she's actually protecting her heart and spirit. Because anyone who's taken that much of a battering would be fucking stupid. to continue to open up and be that loving and considerate of everyone else and still keep giving in situations where you definitely are losing and you're definitely coming out with wounds to your mental health and self-esteem? Got to draw the line somewhere. So when we look at the peacock and we see the peacock with its own evil eye, surrounded by evil eye, it's a protective mechanism. Same way the peacock covers all of its feathers and it can go down and then suddenly it will just peacock. I know a lot of men that love to peacock. Most of the men I've dated love a bit of peacocking me on the first date. And I'm like, ooh, aren't you fabulous, darling? Then by date 4 you realise, oh, it really was only peacocking that you was offering me then. You know? So let's dig in. Just thought that was a really important story about why sometimes we have pride and ego. Why sometimes we find it hard to give. Like some people really do expect us to just be able to consistently be that lover and that giver and that provider. The person that I am today, that as much as I swear and bitch and get loud and rowdy on this platform, on my old accounts back in the day I would never speak like this. I was so love and light. Hi guys, oh my gosh. That was genuinely me. I'm not being fake, but I've evolved. And I'm in a different energy now. I've been torn down and beaten and ripped and hurt and bloody and wounded mentally, emotionally and spiritually. So guess what? I'm going to move different now. And that's all right, guys. Forgive yourself if you feel like you're not the person that you used to be and you can't conform to standardized narratives. And whether you feel like other people have pride and ego towards you or you have pride and ego towards them, understand that it's all part and parcel of life. And in forgiveness, which is a lower vibration, and then pride and ego, they look pretty symmetrical in my eyes, because I'm looking at a masculine with his head down and his hands together like he's praying, hoping that God can just hear him and help him heal, while as the peacock's just looking up, that eye always just beaming out to the side, just staring dead on. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm looking at you. Yeah, what do you want to say? Like, really intense energy. So they're opposing energies, but they're truly aligned because it's yin and yang. So in that vibration, it's a very simple situation of we need both to exist in this reality. So whether you're waving between those emotions or you're dealing with someone else in those emotions, then you're learning something from each other. Oh, fucking hell. Imagine the card. I'm not going to put another card then. The card that came out to sum this up was the pearl. I'm looking at an oyster shell. A hidden gem, it says. And the oyster shell is just cracked open ever so slightly. And inside you can see the pearl in there. I have a deck called Animal Spirit. Really incredible deck. Really nice drawings as well. And in there they've got the oyster. And the oyster in that deck talks about broadcasting, speaking out, the unheard, the secret treasure, the mermaid at the bottom of the ocean. Is it real? Is it not real? The siren. I hear all that singing. Where's it coming from? I saw something in the water. I'm sure it was a person, but I'm not sure. Have you seen Splash? That's in one of my playlists, greatest movies of all time. Go and watch the clip in there from Splash. There might be a couple. Is it a mermaid? Is it not? Someone's in the water. We have to go out and check. Little do you know, it's a mermaid who's lived under the sea this whole time. Capable to survive any terrain. Yeah, you can survive anything that you go through in this lifetime. You can. Forgiveness is a part of the cycle. Pride and ego is a part of the cycle. I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't go through periods and stages of being an absolute egoic, obnoxious, stuck-up bitch. And I say that in the same moment. I know that's a lie, because I'm fronting and pretending. Once again, it's what I said. Hey, darling, yes, queen. It's all that dramatic, queer, camp flair that I love and adore. It boosts my confidence and self-esteem. It brings my self-worth to the front. It rises up. It allows all of my chakras to align and rise up out of my mouth, because in that same breath I'm broadcasting to the world, yes, darling, I am indeed fabulous. Yes, you can hate me. I don't give a fuck. I am incredible. Sorry that you are not brave enough to say that you are incredible. I'm really I feel so sorry for you, but my God, do I feel incredible today, and I deserve to scream it. Yes, you know, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Just you'd expect to be perceived and judged by others who don't have that confidence and level of self-esteem and don't even know how to comprehend or perceive someone who even presents himself with that much pizzazz and flair. Dearie me. I love a drag queen, I love a camp, I love a gay. So if you can't receive that, I'm so sorry for you. I want to go into Jay-Z. You know, you can finish the lyrics. Right, let's go into the last cards. And now I'm using the Cosmos for this because I realised I haven't used them once. We've been going in with the Mystics. So do you know what I'm going to pull? I'm going to go with one Oracle card from the Cosmos Classic Oracle deck to look at the vibration and the muse. Oh, it's a wormhole. Oh, it's one of my favourites. Ah, Mystic deck. Oh, God. Okay, this deck, right, it says wormhole. And I've been speaking about wormholes for the last 2 days, funny enough. And it says serendipitous meeting, shortcut, secret link. And in this image, it's like a girl laying on a cosmic bed, listening to lofty music, really it is. And the whole bed sheets are like stars, and it's like the galaxy. She's wearing a stars and like galaxy printed top and bed sheets. It's just really nice. And it talks about serendipitous moments in space-time, and the wormhole is a black hole is an unknown abyss. It's a black hole. You're going into it. You don't know where you're coming out, right? But a wormhole, it's a wormhole. It's a secret shortcut. It's a quick navigation. It's a quick loop, yeah? If you're having paradoxical symptoms, which I'll talk about a lot, I'll have to explain those terms a little more in the future to you guys. But if you're going through paradoxical symptoms sometimes, and it will lead to like a repeated causal loop, you could look at the wormhole as a way to break that causal loop and then shortcut through the actual, what would look like a rewind button. You know, when you have one arrow connecting to another arrow, but before the arrow connects onto the other, there's a tiny little gap. Wormhole is literally going in between the gap. If you look on your remote control of any kind of rewind and forward remote device, you'll see when they loop round. That's an old school remote I'm looking at right now, so I apologise if you can't get it. But a rewind symbol or a cycle, there's gaps within the little cycle. That those little marks, so the arrows don't join to another string, that's the wormhole. And that's what you fall within. And the cards that elaborate on this is the vibration and the muse. When you allow yourself to go into meditation and really connect with source, in those moments you are in a wormhole. You're going to a place with the divine. When I first started meditation in 2016, I meditated for an hour and a half daily, 2 hours a day devoted to meditation, just sitting there. Come out of meditation like, where the fuck am I? Forgot I was here in my bedroom, sitting with my legs crossed for 2 hours straight. Just been to the moon with the rabbi. Just was with Jesus downtown. Just met my grandparents and we went to this island, to this place, to this location. I would go anywhere in space-time with a range of gods, guides, deities, angels, archangels, passed on legends. I would travel space-time frequently, every day for an hour. And at least an hour and a half. So I would be shocked at, I think it was 10 minutes and an hour and a half's gone. So I just was like, I could do 2 hours straight of this stuff. So it just became a habit for me to meditate. I couldn't do that now. Now, try get me to do 2 hour meditation. I can't even do 10 minutes. Can't even shut the fuck up for more than 30 seconds. But for the length of time, for the years that I was ingrained in that meditation, it took me places. Because in those moments, I really understood that I was the muse. And I say that in a way that's the least egoic I've been so far this year, potentially. Because I realised it wasn't about me, it was about the journey. It was about what I was creating and seeing in the mind's eye. And I gave all of that to God. And I believed it was coming from a higher source. So in those moments when I was traveling for those 2 hours, it wasn't about me. The muse was the experience. The muse was the moment. The muse was the source that I just allowed to run through me. Because when you're listening to the music, and I normally just wouldn't listen even to guided, I'll just listen to some kind of binaural beat that I enjoyed or felt guided to that day. So as I'm listening to that binaural beat and I close my eyes and everything's immediately black, suddenly a colour seeps in. Another colour seeps in. Now it's a full-on visual aid. Now I'm travelling here, there and everywhere. I'm off across space-time. How has this happened? And you just allow your mind to go wherever it wants to take you. Then you're seeing things you've never seen before. And it's Alice in Wonderland. It's the Wizard of Oz. It's phenomenal when you really allow your mind to go there. That truly is the wormhole. It is a serendipitous moment. At one time, the first ever time I connected with a medium was after I realised I was a medium and I could see spirit. And one of my besties, she was like, you know, I connect with mediums all the time. I don't talk about it. I just keep it hush hush because you lot are not into that. But you're having these experiences now. You're telling me stuff that's true. You're seeing my granddad. You need to start coming to me with these places. So she started taking me with her to all the kooky mediumship stuff that she went to, which I was just like, oh, okay. But then I started meeting these mediums and these people, and I realised, whoa, that's who I am. That's what I do. And they started awakening me. And the first mediumship experience I had, she said, you've come into the room with a rabbi. And I was like, okay. She's like, he's very serious. He's not going to speak to me. He's right next to you he's sitting next to you to the right. He said he's your guide for the next 2 years. He's taking you onto the journey. He's like your initiate. And she really broke down to me what he looked like and everything like that. She's like, you'll spend a lot more time with him. You'll start connecting with him, but he would not dare speak to me. I'm not worthy. He wouldn't waste his breath on me. And I thought, wow, that's fucking fascinating. And then she shared some stories about her mediumship, and I got advice from her how to manage what I was seeing, and she just prepared me for the future. And every medium I've ever been to, I haven't seen a medium in over probably 2 years now, but before that they would always say, oh, you still got a long way to go, 2 more years of this shit, oh, sorry to warn ya. And I was just like, fucking hell, is anyone going to tell me that I'm winning tomorrow or not? And now I look back, I laugh, because it's like, actually, yeah, we're all right on cue, because you lot really told me 4 more years of this shit, 2 more years of this shit, 6 more years of this shit. Oh, you got a long way to go. You just started. And now it all adds up, and they're all pretty fucking accurate. I'm not going to go into detail of what another said as well, but there's some real amazing stuff that's come true and that's still manifesting and coming true now that they've said to me. It's beautiful that when you, I'm ranting now, but it's important to share because you all have your own unique journeys linked to this. And it's nice to hear a believer's story to inspire you and help you believe, I hope, guys, you know? Because one medium I went to, this could make me cry because I didn't cry at the time. I just took it in and was like, wow, shit, I really believe you, because I believed it in myself. But I went to see her. First time I ever met her, I've never been to her again either. I think I lost her details. But I know someone who's got her details. I can track her down. I think I need to. But that's oversharing with you now. So, staying on topic, this medium said to me, you're going to change science, you know. Remember, she's never met me. I didn't get her contact from a typical everyday friend that I would. It was a third party. So I'm aware of the connected nature and the fake potentials of the experience. This woman doesn't know anything about me. She doesn't know I'm at uni studying psychology. She doesn't know my manifestation board is rooted in science and Einstein's philosophies and all of the developmentalists in psychology that I stand by and believe in, like Freud and all of that. She has no idea of that. She has no idea that me starting the journey as early as I did, I was already believing and envisioning that science was really, really significant in my future, and that the School of Hermetology, what I was building, was profoundly spirituality and science coming together in a brand new way that was, in my opinion, going to change the world. Like, my belief has always been, this is going to change the world. This is revolutionary. This has never been done before. This is humongous. That's how I felt it to be in my soul when I really saw it and perceived it and began to study it. So when I actually went to her and she said to me, no word of a lie, you're going to change the world, you know, with your science. She goes, what you're doing, you're a scientist? And I was like, no, I'm not. Like, I would never call myself a scientist in them times there, because I was far from that. But she's like, no, you really are. Like, you're very scientific and you're creating something incredibly scientific and really important for the future, right? And some other stuff that she spoke on about and went on about, and I really took it. I was younger then and I wasn't as switched on as I am then. So I took it in and I thought, wow, she knows that I really love spirituality and psychology and science. She really knows that. She said I'm going to do it. And I've already believed that. I've started this journey to do this. So it was that's what's so beautiful about mediums and spirit, is they can provide you with something. That woman won't remember me now. She won't know how significant that phrase was. Because to be honest with you, if I didn't have her say to me in that wormhole, in that serendipitous moment, you're going to change science. What you're creating is going to change the way that we look at science today. And I remember saying, yeah, I'm doing it for us, like me and you. Like, you see what you're doing for me now, the spirit side of stuff. Like, it's important that they see us, because what you're telling me is truth, and they don't believe us. And you're in here working in here, and you're not getting a lot of money. I'm not paying you a lot right now, but you're incredibly powerful, and the stuff that you're saying to me is changing my life and reaffirming me and healing me, you know? She was also a Reiki healer and had a beautiful setup and stuff, but it was in her house, you know? Half of it was in the middle of her front room as well. So it was like, it was just important to me that she didn't know me from anyone, and she knew that, and a lot of other stuff she knew. And I was just like, wow. And it's one moment like that one serendipitous moment you have like that, where even as I've gone down the road and the moments I get weak and weary and I question whether I can do it or not, I know that I believed I could from the start of time. And then I've got this random medium who don't know me that has also affirmed to me that that science thing you're doing, it's going to change the world, you know. And that was just enough. That's just been enough. And then as I move through the journey and I experience others and I engage and I connect with my own guides and I have my own serendipitous moments, it carries on. And actually that moment makes me want to cry a little bit now, because it feels like such a long time ago and it felt important at the time. But now I look back on it, it's like, oh my God, I think I am actually doing it. Like, it's visible now. I see it now. Like, it's almost here now. Like, is it here now? Is it not here? Like, whoa. I'm having a massive braingasm on the call with you now, because I'm shaken up at the reality and the truth of it all. Because she's not wrong and I'm not wrong. And now I'm actually a little bit scared and overwhelmed, and that pride and ego is creeping in a bit again, because I'm like, oh my God, stop talking, hermatologist. Don't tell the world this is coming. It's a bit much. You're not ready. I'm not ready. You know, so whatever it is for you in regards to your ascension cycle, because now I feel guilty, like I've overshared and I'm just sitting on the call giving you all my pride and ego. And I have to pull away from that energy and go, this is my truth and I'm happy to share it with you. And I really hope that you're happy to do the same, and that there's a serendipitous moment that you've had in your life that would affirm that you're doing the right thing and that you long have been. Let me be that serendipitous moment for you in the now moment, shall I? Yeah? There's something out there in your life that you're destined for, that you're meant to be doing. It's about your knowledge and your ethics, what you stand for and believe in. And for a long time, you've been shedding your old skin. I see someone surrounded by a lot of snakes. I'm looking at the King of Wands. Leo, Aries, Sagittarius coming in. Yeah? And you've had to have strength through this. Through a lot of emotional despair, a lot of emotional upset. Longevity. It's been a long journey. An emotional journey, yeah? But you've been committed to this. I'm looking at a masculine and a feminine. I'm looking at a fire sign masculine. It's giving me last airbender energy. Fire lord energy. Then I'm looking at a feminine who's a water sign. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. But more so a highly emotional, highly intuitive feminine, who has been going through a lot of internal upset, emotions, crying, dark nights of the soul. I really resonate with that energy myself. Because as I come on the call and I talk to you about that serendipitous moment and that ideology of changing the world through science, which sounds so grandiose, I remember The vibration of just crying all the time, being sad all the time, longing all the time. Still committing to the journey, never giving up. Serious commitment issues in every other circumstance other than this. Couldn't ever really commit to anything in life other than this. So having the strength emotionally to manage all of this experience, this life, the knowledge, the ethics, the belief. Because sometimes as spiritualists, we hold on to the lightest thread. Imagine that woman saying that to me, not knowing me, and I paid her, 50 quid? If that, maybe 25 quid, wasn't a lot of money. Don't think anyone's charged me 50 quid, no, 25. And just that phrase alone has guided me to where I'm at today. Still believing in that narrative, still manifesting that narrative, now seeing it in the physical, now seeing it in papers and documents and stuff I'm writing myself, seeing my formula, seeing my codes, seeing everything that I'm building and constructing in the now moment. It's no longer a mere dream or a vision or something I saw in meditation. It's in the 3D, on earth, on the verge of manifestation. Don't fuck with the power of spirit, people. So many beautiful souls out there. Like, I don't know if my crew is listening, my WhatsApp crew, the crew that I speak to on FaceTime, the crew that I speak to on WhatsApp, the Zoom crew. Let me just shout you out real quick if you're listening, because sometimes you're the only ones on the call. Yeah? There's no words for what you've done for me. There's no words for how you lift me up and you inspire me and you carry me. My shaman sister out there, if you're engaged, I love you to pieces. I love how you always know at the right time to connect and rise me up and lift me up again. I love how you immediately call me on my energy. I love how you know I've got a big ego and sometimes you're soft and light with me on the call, but I know you want to get onto me and really check me about my ego and my ideas, because I can be an over talker and a bit obnoxious, and I see you as well trying to manage your energy and deal with me and rein me back in. I see you, I know you see me getting super corporate, and I know it freaks you out at times, and you try and rein me in and bring me back to earth, and I love you for that as well. My bestie, who I haven't responded to, and I got WhatsApps and calls and missed calls. I'm so sorry. I love you, but I'm doing this. You know why I'm doing this as well. The fact that you've rid for me throughout the storm. You're the only person who did not leave my side after everything happened over the last 2 years. As bitchy and moody and rude and as aggressive as I was at times with you, and at points you didn't even know me for that long. You have not left my side. You've been my trusted confidant. At times where I could trust no one on this earth, you reminded me I could trust you and believe in you. You've changed me in major ways. You've made me really reflect on who I am, what I believe in. You've helped me take my spirituality to new heights because of your perceptions. And you're so young, you're younger than me, but you're so fucking wise and smart. And I love you with all of my heart. I really do. You know what you mean to me, man. That's what... And I know you feel the same. That's what's so beautiful as well. I want to scream your names from the rooftop, but then I also don't. Let's have some anonymity over here, because you are my dream team, my squad, you know. And I love you with all my heart, guys. And I know we don't even live in the fucking same country. You're all scattered around the world. My indigenous sister, if you are engaging. Last person I'm going to shout out here. You saved me in some of the darkest times of my life. And you won't even know I asked you to do some things that were out of my remit and your remit as well. And we crossed lines. We wouldn't even say we crossed lines. We went into darker spaces to find any light available so we could get out of the dark spaces we were in. I've never been in such a dark space and then had someone else who was also in that dark space. And together, me and you, we walked around in the dark and found the tiniest bit of light we could. That we had to come together. So, because my light was so small, your light was so small. So the moment that we came together, we had to put all of our light together. And that is the only thing that took me out of the dark place I was in about a year and a half ago. You changed my life as well, and I don't know if you know it. I need to reach out to you and speak to you about that. Because I never had a spiritual sister to that degree. And a coven experience whereby literally you were like the charmed one. We weren't even doing spells or anything like that, but it was just the deep soul bond and our ability to truly understand each other at a much profounder level because we speak the same language. And your indigenous spirit and your indigenous guides raised me up from nowhere. And they are 3 examples, guides, of serendipitous moments and wormholes in space-time where that's why I was like, fuck the internet is one of my favourite songs, right? But the internet is an amazing thing in that same breath. Because they fuck social media, but I still love the internet because these 3 souls I've never met in the physical. They're scattered around across the globe, pretty far out from me. But boy, have they saved me. Boy, have they helped me ascend. Boy, have they picked me up, brushed me off, washed me down, and carried me forward after crucifixion and so much more. So the message I want to leave all of you guys with is go out there and love and value. Destiny's coming out as well here. Love and value the people that have been there for you during the time, they've seen your transition, they've seen your journey. They've been confused about it. They felt like you were maybe leaving them behind or going into a corporate direction or a different direction that was just unfamiliar to them. But they didn't disown you. They didn't leave you. They still showed you love. They asked questions. They inquired. And whether they did or didn't agree, they held space for you nonetheless. I love them with all my heart. Guys, I love you with all my heart. Everyone on the call, I love you with all my heart. Anyone still listening at this time on a transmission, boy, do I love you. Hit the like and subscribe. Because we're still working in the matrix as I speak. But we're wrapping up, guys. I don't know why I just went sentimental like that, but that's where my heart took me, okay? From humble beginnings to true potential is what this says. Last card that's come out, Wheel of Fortune. That's what's in Siren. Oh my gosh, and look at this card. Science, education and mentoring. Look, seeing the bigger picture and discovery. There's something that we are all meant to be discovering. We're not here to come to earth and plod along doing a standard 9 to 5. It's not what we're here for. It's not what we're meant to be doing. And there's no judgment of standard 9 to 5. In my career as an entrepreneur, I've built my own lifestyle, but I still work a standard 9 to 5. Still got to plod along and go in, check out, work on a clock that humanity know about, that earth know about, that the government know about, that my that my spiritualists on the ground know about. Can't just create any construct and work 1 hour a day. If I really want to engage with the collective, I'm working 9 to 5. I've got to conform to a certain degree to meet the quota. And the quota are the people on the ground that are out on the ground during that window of time, if you get what I mean. But still in that remit, we've had periods of time to forgive ourselves and be prideful and have ego and hold back and not want to be mentored and then go into mentorship and then mentors others. One of the beautiful souls I spoke about was I was life coaching them for a period of time. At the start of time, I was your life coach. And then you ascended so far on the journey that you became my life coach. That was a shock to my system when I was down and out and in the gutter. You start life coaching me. And now we life coach each other. How amazing. How privileged do I feel that I have you to life coach me and you have me to life coach you. And it's just a reciprocal divine relationship and friendship, and we power each other through some of the darkest, heaviest times in our life. You know, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So please, guys, value the people that come into your life and the energy that they provide you with, and understand that you meet people for a reason, you know. And whatever falls away and it doesn't remain, you got to find a way to refrain from being angry about that. I hope today that I share this with you, that you and I together can transmute any anger, any resentment, any forgiveness that we still hold on to. Anyone on the call that knows me that I don't really speak to anymore, and maybe you think I blocked you, or I'm not talking to you, or I'm angry and resentful, I promise you that's not true. I promised you that I just had to keep ascending and keep going. And I just hope, I give love to everyone at this time, and I hope everyone finds peace and solace in where they're at on their journey now. Because I've made some heavier decisions and done stuff in haste out of fear and panic and not knowing how to receive or perceive a situation. So ran away to the most comfortable, convenient space I could, and I fell into the arms of beautiful light workers around the globe who have kept me going when I felt low and alone. And it was destiny. It was destined. And it's important that whatever falls away and doesn't remain, it means we have other places to go and other people to see and other things to do, you know. And that's okay. It always is okay. And I feel so happy and fulfilled in my heart for where I'm at now, and I just wish everyone on the call that fulfillment. Yeah, choose to transmute and let go of any regret, any hurt, anyone who didn't make it, anyone you lost along the way, anyone you wish was still in your life but's not in your life, the ex in your relation, the ex that you were with, the one that you thought you were going to be with for eternity, the relationship with your parents, whether they're alive or passed on, grieving those relationships, grieving those expectations, family members and friends that you had expectations of and they too couldn't meet that. It's painful on the spiritual journey when you ascend and you're the only one ascending in the room. And everyone you love is still exactly where you left them, but you're still ascending in the room. And you don't want to be egoic, you don't want to be judgmental, you don't want to leave them behind. But you're in a vibration now that is evidently unaligned to everyone else in the space and everyone else in that ecosystem. And it becomes abundantly clear that you no longer belong. If you could belong, if you could fit in, you would. If you were meant to stay there and be part of the furniture, you would do it. But you don't fit in. You don't belong. You are an alien in the environment in relation to everyone else. It's obvious. So, as hard as it is to walk away, as sad as it is to let go, you know it's obvious. God made it be obvious to you and them, because how else would you then truly walk away without the guilt and the resentment then? It's an end of an era, it feels like. We're moving on. We've managed to go through the wormhole, have a serendipitous meeting, and now the world has opened up in major ways and new things await you. And it's going to be a beautiful journey moving forward. Stunning, gorgeous, a life that you could have never really perceived, only dreamed of. Never really perceived in the physical, but now it's here. So pick your head up, be proud. It's not about pride and ego. You're clearly humble, and you are to have true potential to achieve all of your dreams. Whether you are the mentor or being mentored, I think you're doing both. You are an incredible light worker who is educating and evolving and ascending, and it has been observed. So let go of the judgment and the fear and the ridicule and the insecurity of how you're being perceived, and know that you are divine and you are the muse in the room. You are the news in the room, you know? And that is something you should be proud of, because in the past you would have never been. And you never would have been seen or acknowledged or accounted for. And now they can't count you out, you know? Which is really fucking cool. Love and light, my friends.